So listen, hi, and I have the honor of introducing the video that's actually going to introduce our first honoree, Don. So, okay, and I've got a few brief remarks before that, but what I wanted to say is, first of all, I've been on the board since 1996, and I'm honored to serve. And Don was on the board even before that. So, I mean, that tells you something. He's a giver. And that's why we're here tonight, isn't it? So, yeah, thank you. Listen, and I've known Don for over 25 years. He's a big deal. He's a big deal. You know, I mean, I know he wouldn't want me to talk about the resume, and I don't need to, but, you know, I mean, I worked with him at IBM a long time ago. He was a legend at IBM. There's a whole table of IBMers over here who can't stop telling stories tonight about him. And he's still thought of that way there. But Morgan Stanley, Credit Suisse, Citigroup, a lot of Citigroup people here. It's good to see some of my old colleagues here too. And he's a big deal at Citi. He runs half the company. So, but I won't talk about that. And there'll be other people that will have some remarks about Don. But I'd like to talk a little bit about, I think, things he'd like me to say. Which, you know, when I think of Don, I've known him for a long time. I think of him as a learner and a teacher. And I know he would resonate with those words. He is somebody that continually self-learns, creates environments where others can learn. And coaches and teaches and mentors others. And I'll only share one story because, again, I'm the guy that introduces the video that introduces Don. So just one quick story, but we both love Japan. And we both have a connection with Japan, and we both have lived there. And Don was there in the 1990s, early 1990s. And there's one time where I was there on a business trip, on a visit. And I come to Don's office, and I think this is very typical if you know Don. And I come to his office, but you have to step back a minute and visualize with me. You know what a knight in shining armor looks like. You know what that suit of armor looks like. The helmet and head-to-toe armor and clinking around and maybe a sword or a big stick of some sort. So, you know, I get to Don's office. This is in Tokyo. Don was running like half of Asia, or maybe all of Asia for IBM back then. And I get to his office, and, you know, I'm escorted in by his secretary, nice Japanese woman. And Don's not in the office when I walk in. I don't know where he is. And all of a sudden, from behind the door, Don steps out, or somebody steps out, and he's got this armor on, like a knight in armor, but what it actually is a Japanese kendo outfit. Now, the Japanese kendo, I mean, you wouldn't know this probably, but it's like the martial art of Japan. But Don steps out fully in this outfit with the helmet on and the armor, head to toe, clinking, with a big stick that must be 12 feet, and he goes. So I'm thinking to myself, either I should run or I got to defend myself. And I don't even know it's Don, by the way. But that was an introduction to Don in Japan. But okay, so here's the story. What did I learn after? So Don takes the helmet off and he starts telling me why. Now, first of all, he's the only person in his class. He was taking kendo martial arts lessons in Japan. But he's the only person in his class who's non-Japanese. Nobody in the class speaks English. You know, Don doesn't speak Japanese yet, but he's in this class, and it's like combat in Japan. But why? Back to the learner in him. He wanted to learn about the culture. He wanted to know about how things work, how Japanese people think. He wanted to immerse himself, just like these students did, in how things work. You know, he wanted to integrate himself into the way Japan was, and probably is today. And by doing that, he could help other people figure out how to apply that, integrate that, apply that, and he did with me. I got the lesson that day. He was teaching me, and I know he went on to teach other people, and that is one of thousands of stories. And by the way, there's a few hundred that are sharing at that table over there tonight about the kind of person he is. You know, but it's I can't do enough justice when I say words like mentor, coach, colleague, manager, leader. Those words are like, you know, they don't even in some ways do justice to him, but learner, teacher, right? It fits the teacher part, you know, and of course, father and husband, and Lisa's here tonight, more affectionately known by friends and family as Cricket, and Lisa, his wife, is here, and 2 of his 4 sons, Teddy and Peter, so, you know, I mean, please, for them tonight, right? It's great that you guys are here, too. So others will talk more about him. Again, I'm introducing the video. We're getting there for that. And talk more about business and Don. But as a man, I would just, you know, sort of say to you that, I mean, everything Don has done that I know, and I've had a personal connection for many years, has been about giving. And there's a saying I'd like to leave you with that, you know, you get to make your living, but you give to make a life. And all the lives that Don has touched, our honoree has touched, have demonstrated, he exemplifies that giving. And again, isn't that why we're here tonight? So if we could roll the video, others will say some other words about our honoree. But congratulations, Don. Yeah.
Don's been a great leader in this industry. He's been an innovator in this industry. Today, his role at Citigroup has been immense in helping automate, to change, to innovate, to partner. And I feel fortunate that we at First Data get to be in business with him.
I've seen through the 25+ years I've worked with Don, his own personal ability to keep learning, be very flexible, be very adaptable.
But he's also someone who I think has the ability to bridge. He bridges things such as technology, which can be very specific and technical, with application. How does it apply? How does it apply in education? Just as much, how does it apply in business? How does it apply in disaster relief when he's with the Red Cross? How does it work around the many areas that we all in our daily lives operate?
Don is very, very curious to stay ahead of where things are going and to make sure he keeps absorbing whatever new things are there. So he's the consummate digital economy senior executive who is always trying to be a few steps ahead of where things are going. You know, when people watch executives like him in action, young people say, well, I guess I have to be like that. I learned some things here, but I have to keep learning and adapting and being flexible through life.
Don Callahan's a helper to many. Don Callahan's a mentor to many. And his philanthropic bent is as good as his work bent. He's always there to help people, and he wants to always do what's good for people.
He is someone with a very senior position that manages, you know, tens of thousands, actually over 100,000 people, I think, at times at Citi, one way or another. So he's seen as a technology, operations, business head. But in reality, he is, but in reality, when you meet with Don too, he's very passionate about the person he's speaking to. He's thoughtful about understanding who you are.
Don Callahan and his family go to every Mets game. Don's a huge Met fan, so am I, for the record, go Mets. But Don appeared at the suite, knocked on the door, came in, and I was entertaining some 20 people, and he walked in and started introducing himself to the team. And I thought to myself, what an amazing effort. He's on personal time, he's enjoying a Mets game, but the client franchise is never far from his mind. So he takes the time and energy to leave his seats, come up to the suite, knock on the door, and work the room in a phenomenal way, where everybody there was astounded that a Citi executive had made that effort. He just charmed the whole room. Don left that room, followed up with me the following week to say, how can I help and how can I be involved? And that passion that he brings to everything he does for Citi came into the Veterans Initiative. That was the very beginning. That was the birth of Veterans on Wall Street.
He follows issues, social issues, and he's been leading our diversity networks around Citi. And those include veterans, and they include women, they include our Hispanic and our Roots Network and the Pride Network. And I think that side of Don, of a well-read, diverse man, is sometimes not seen because he's running such a big operation and many layers away from him. But I often say to people, he's a very passionate man when it comes to not just his work, but the people he interacts with, and he's interested. So I couldn't be happier to see him honored as this way, and I know his hundreds of thousands of us, a city group, also congratulate him and the college on your choice.
Don, we are honored to present you with the BMCC Award of Excellence, which reads, with sincere appreciation for your long-standing friendship and generous support of our students, and in recognition for your role as a transformational leader, both at City and in service to our community. Please join me in congratulating Don. We are truly grateful for your friendship and for all you have done to support this evening's gala.
Congratulations. Thank you, Tim. 私はダン・カレンです。どうぞよろしくお願いします。Just kidding. I just thought I didn't know any Italian. Now I'm going to sing the next part. And I'm thinking about the third part. But I have to tell you that they say you never want to follow certain type of speakers. Those are the 3 best student speeches I have ever heard. And literally, this goes. This is about 10 minutes. And a lot of work went into it. I can tell you the beginning part was to say thank you. And thank you so much. Mr. President, thank you for honoring the BMC, bestowing upon Tim that introduction. I would love a copy of the video just to get back at people for putting that in. I have to tell you, I am truly honored to receive this award on behalf of all my colleagues at City. Those who are here tonight, who I really appreciate taking the time to come here this evening, and the rest of them across the globe. Thank you very much. As Tim mentioned, I was asked to join the board in the mid-'80s, and I think the relationship started with Rick Morrison, who's in the room tonight, and Jack Owens, and they asked, would you come and join the board? And I said, I really don't know much about it, but if you guys think this is a good cause, I'm all in. And I started going to the board meetings, and I started to learn about the magic of the organization. And you saw it tonight in those 3 wonderful talks. I'm not going to try to elaborate on that, other than that the institution has a set of magic that comes across, but really it's in the individual stories. And today was a great day for me as it involves BMCC, because I had the opportunity to give the opening talk of our summer interns. And I was able to introduce Pandora. Pandora, can you stand up? Pandora from Warsaw, who has joined City as of today in our summer internship program. And she is on fire, doing very well, and now has multiple opportunities to go on to advance her degree, one of them being at Penn. She hasn't quite made up her decision. And Marina, would you stand up as well? Marina, I wish there was a light so you could see. Marina is an amazing story, and I think, Tim, you had something to do with this story. Tim spotted Marina as a talent at BMCC. When he was at City in our Trade and Treasury Services, hired her in. She blew through the training program, the summer internship program, was invited back. She graduated from BMCC with a 4.0 in computer science. She was accepted at NYU. She changed her major because it wasn't hard enough and went into applied mathematics at NYU. She graduated last month with a 4.0 and honors and Phi Beta Kappa. And most exciting to us, if all goes well, on June 20th, she starts with a full-time job at Citi, not in trade and treasury services, but in sales and trading, doing analytics that will show us the new world of finance. So thank you. I'm going to leave it at that, other than to thank my family for being here tonight and thinking of those who couldn't be here tonight. It's truly an honor, and thank you.